People have been asking me what kind of loquats do I have, and well, let's take a look. I pulled all these loquats out of the overgrown vegetable garden that my wife was growing. So if you see some dead tomato leaves on them or green beans or whatever, that's what it's from. So let's go to it. This is a big white. I grafted this one probably about a year and a half ago, and it's done pretty well. It's growing up pretty good. This one I grafted this spring. It's called KT1. There's a loquat fanatic in Los Angeles area that has like 100 varieties he's grown out from seed and whatnot, and this is his most famous one. This one supposedly makes so much fruit that it breaks the tree if you don't thin it. Over here is a teardrop. This one here is a Vista White, which is another famous white flesh variety. I found that loquats are pretty accepting of multi-grafting, so I've been doing some multi-grafting on this large tree here. So I do have some suckers coming out below the graft, so I'm just going to leave those on there just because I can graft other varieties on, kind of diversify it further. My first graft was a gold nugget, and then about a month later, it took, and then a month or two later, I got some Paluch scions. So I thought, but I don't want to lose the gold nugget, so I just kept the gold nugget and grafted the Paluch on top, and it took. Later, I've added some more, and I got some varieties from Cause. I have this turned so I can't read my writing very well. I think it's a KT1 and a sherry over here. The sherry I actually got from Fruitwood. Over here is another smaller multi-grafted loquat that I've started. This one, I had a Mesita grafted onto it, and then I just added to it more science from Cause. This is a Graham KT9, and I just labeled the Mesita again, and then there's a KT1 on top of that. I grafted a couple other things, but they didn't take, so I've just down to about 4 varieties on this one. And over here is just the famous Paluch. I like to have backups of whatever preferable scion that I have, so I'm covered. Also, as I continue to grow out rootstock, I'm going to use these as kind of my donors, scion donors. And for those of you who've been wondering, when will I have more available? Well, this is what I got right now. I've been growing out some rootstocks. I got several of these, and this is what this size they look like in about 6 months or so. Maybe it was even longer than that. It was in the winter, I think, or maybe early spring, I forgot. But later on, as a winter project, I'll pull out the good ones and pot them in their own 4-inch pot, and probably next year sometime, if they grow really well, should be able to graft onto them with small branches. I've had success grafting larger scions onto a smaller rootstock with loquats, and they seem to just take up the slack and even out. A lot of these single grafts were actually larger scions that I grafted onto smaller rootstocks, and they've just grown together really nicely. Thanks for checking it out. I'm going to leave it here. See you next time.